Good morning and welcome to Building Skills with LearningExpress Library, brought to you by the Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives. I have just a little housekeeping to start. If you have any issues, such as with sound, just use the chat box to let us know. Also, you can send a chat if you have any questions as we go throughout the session, and I'll answer those as we go along, and hopefully we'll have some time for questions and answers at the end, although there is a lot of material here to cover because LearningExpress is just full of resources. This webinar is being recorded and will be available within 10 days. And there are captions available two ways. You can click yes at the top of your screen to see the captions within Collaborate, or click the stream text link in the chat to view them in a separate window. Okay, my name is Deborah Hibbard, and I am the State Library Patron Services Supervisor. I've got about 14 years experience working in libraries. I've been at KDLA for 10 years, and I was at Lexington Public Library for about 4, and then I have 20 years in with the state total. I had a few other agencies that I worked for. I was with the Department of Vocational Rehabilitation at one time, and the Department of Income Support as an adjudicator for disability determination services. So I've done a lot of different things in state government. In libraries, I've mainly worked in archives, circulation, and the reference areas. And I have my contact information there should you need any assistance at any time with library services or our research databases or anything of that nature. I also handle interlibrary loan for the state library. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to start today with an introduction to KDLA in case we have any folks who are unaware of all the services our agency provides. And then I'm also going to briefly discuss the services we provide to state employees. Then I'll do an overview of LearningExpress. We're going to talk about what this database is, how it's organized, and some of what you can find in it. And then after that, we'll discuss how to access the database. You sign in, create a LearningExpress account. And next, we'll look at each center in depth. We'll kind of preview practice tests, skill building exercises, tutorials, eBooks. These are each built into the centers. And end up with wrap up, the questions and final housekeeping and things that I need to go over with you at the end. Okay, so about KDLA, that is our mission statement, uniting people and information, and our building there, which from above is supposed to look like an L and an A for libraries and archives. Okay, just a little organizational information about us. We're housed within the Education and Labor Cabinet. We do have 2 divisions, Library Services and Archives and Records Management. On the library side, we have 3 branches, which includes the Talking Books Library, Library Development, and the State Library branch, which is where I work. KTBL provides free library service to people who cannot read traditional print because they have either a visual, physical, or reading disability. Library Development helps public libraries across the state with grant money, continuing education for library staff, technology assistance, and consultation services. And then we help primarily state employees and public library staff across the state. I'll be talking about services that we offer state employees in a minute. For public library staff, we provide training, grants, and programming and supplemental collection materials, such as book club discussion kits for libraries. And we also serve inmates at the Kentucky Correctional Facilities. We have a mail-in reference program. And we do have services to Kentucky residents, but they're limited to on-site service. We do answer reference questions either by phone, email, or a walk-in. But Kentucky residents don't have access to our research databases or downloadable books and audiobooks because they can access these to their local public library, and that we just consider that a duplication of service. On the archive side, we have 4 branches: archival services, which holds Kentucky's historic public records like birth and death records, marriage, judicial records, which have civil and criminal cases, wills and deeds, and state agency records, just to name a few. And then we have the state records, local records, and electronic records branches. They help organizations with record management, deciding which records need to be kept based on state law and retention schedules, and which can be destroyed. The state records help state agencies. Of course, local records branch would be helping local government agencies like county clerk's offices, sheriff's offices, and so forth. And then electronic records branch helps agencies that have born digital records, or those that were created on a computer. Okay, and as for the services that we offer to state employees, we have a physical collection of books, CD audiobooks, and DVDs that you can check out. What we do is we send those to your office, or if you're 100% remote, we'll send those to your home address. We have downloadable collection of eBooks, e-audiobooks, and magazines that we offer through Kentucky Libraries Unbound. We also have these electronic research databases, one of which is the one we're discussing today, LearningExpress Library. We also have reference and research assistance available to you. We do interlibrary loan. If we don't have something that you need, we can try to get it from another library. And Ask a Librarian, which is just a catch-all. Any questions you have about your library account, research questions, requests for interlibrary loan can be asked through that service. And then we do trainings. And a lot of our trainings deal with the resources that we offer. We do have a webinar entitled Discover What Your State Library Can Do for You. That discusses our collection and services in detail. And in fact, we have many recorded webinars on our resources and services. And I'll show you where you can find that in a minute. Okay, so now that you have a better idea of who we are and what we do, let's dive on into LearningExpress Library. So LearningExpress Library, it's a comprehensive interactive online learning platform that supports those looking to improve core academic skills, pass the GED, prepare for college, join the military, obtain occupational certification, change careers, become a U.S. citizen, and much more. It's basically a one-stop shop for any career or educational goals that you might have and that you want to work on. It is organized into 10 main buckets of content or targeted learning centers. And each center may contain practice tests, interactive tutorials, micro lessons, downloadable ebooks, articles, and flashcards. And it also features guidance pages and a personalized learning roadmap. You can do individualized study plans. They have timed and untimed practice tests, instant test and essay scoring, and detailed answer explanations. And it is mobile device friendly, so you can use it on any of your mobile devices, phone, tablets, what have you. It is available to state library patrons through the Kentucky Virtual Library and Kentucky residents through almost all public libraries via KYVL. That's what we call the Kentucky Virtual Library, KYVL. KYVL is a statewide online library partnership that gives people of all ages across Kentucky access to high-quality digital research and learning resources. And they're kind of like a sister agency to us. Okay, so I've divided the centers into career and education. So under career centers, you have career preparation, the job and career accelerator, the computer skills center, and recursos para español hablantes, which is the Resources for Spanish Speakers Center. And if you're wondering what the difference is between career preparation and the Job and Career Accelerator, the main difference is that they serve different stages of a user's professional development. So the Career Preparation Center focuses on testing and skill acquisition, like passing nursing exams, studying for the ASVAB, which is, I believe, a test that's used with the military, or improving workplace skills. Whereas the Job and Career Accelerator focuses on the job searching and application processes, resumes, interviews, finding open positions, and so on. Okay, then next we have the education centers, and over there you see the adult course skills centers, grades 4 to 8, high school students, GED test prep center, college admissions test prep, and a center for college students. And as you can see here, there are many areas where LearningExpress can provide assistance. We've got college admissions and placement exams like the ACT, SAT, AP, and TOEFL. We have academic skills improvement for 4th grade skills through college, reading, writing, math, and science. This database does not include instruction for early elementary. Graduate school admission exams like the GRE, adult learning, reading, writing, math. There's U.S. citizenship test prep. There is GED test prep, Spanish language content, academic skills improvement, as well as GED and U.S. citizenship test prep. And occupational certification exam prep for careers in nursing, military, law enforcement, education, and the trades. Now, if you'd like to improve your academic or computer skills, or you have a family member who is going to be taking a college, graduate, or professional school exam, or an occupational certification exam, LearningExpress has you covered. If you work with individuals, though, who could benefit from LearningExpress in your capacity as a state employee, your clients can access LearningExpress through their local public library. LearningExpress Library is available at almost all public libraries throughout the state, courtesy of the Kentucky Virtual Library. And all they need is a public library card to access it remotely at their home, or they can go on site to work on it at the library. Okay, accessing LearningExpress Library. So you're going to start on our web page. That's kdla.ky.gov there at the top. And you see we have all of our customer groups, library support, records management, archives, talking books, state employees. You're going to choose state employees. And that brings you to this page. And you'll be taken to this page which lists all the services that we have for state employees. There in blue, I want to point out the links to our training events calendar and archived webinars. You can see upcoming trainings on the calendar and listen to recorded webinars on the archived webinars page at your convenience. This webinar's recording is going to be going on that page within 10 days. So just in case you want to go back and check out different parts of the training, a particular center that you're interested in, what have you, it is going to be available. And then there where the red arrow is, that is where you're going to reach LearningExpress. You're going to click on the Research Databases link. And that's going to take you to our Research Databases page. And then you're just going to click on the KYVL icon there. And you will be asked to authenticate your library account. So you'll just put in your library account number and your password. If you have a new account and you still need to set up a password, you can do that by clicking on Request Password. Then you go to that A to Z list of resources. Click on L, because they are in alpha order. and you'll come up to the L page, and LearningExpress Library is the second choice down. And here is their page. You do need to create an account within the database in order to get the most out of it. So that would be the first thing to do if you've never used it before. Just click on Sign In, Register. And creating this personal account lets you save your work in progress, and you can go back to revisit practice tests, tutorials, ebooks that you've saved, anything of that nature. Registration only requires a valid email address and a password, and your email address becomes your username and will be used for password reset if needed. Now, notice the button in yellow. It allows you to select between English and Espanol. This only relates to the registration and sign-in page. It doesn't change the entire site to Spanish if you choose Espanol. And then you just click Register under New User. And again, the email address is your username. Now, it gives you a register without email option, so you can create a username, but it does recommend that you use an email and suggests that you create a free one like yahoo.com, Gmail, or one of the other free sites. You can use your work email for it. If you work with people who are going to be using LearningExpress Library, you can just suggest that they create an email account if they already don't have one, but most people do, I think. Okay, and once you're signed in, the default page that it lands on is the My Center page. And My Center has everything centrally located, so you can see it at a glance. If you have any practice tests in progress, ebooks, tutorials, anything else that you've used in the database, it's all going to be there in the My Center. So let's take a look. Now there in where the purple arrow is, we have user settings. And user settings allows you to update your password or your personal information, or you can delete your account if you no longer need it. And down here where the red arrow is, we have Download My Center. And that's going to place all the information on the My Center page into an Excel spreadsheet, which allows you to keep a record of your work outside the platform. Examples of what it will contain would be completed test results, certificates of completion, progress reports, any saved practice tests and scores, and any lists of resources that you've used or bookmarked. And then in yellow here, you notice that there is an app. So you can download an app to your mobile device and use LearningExpress within that app. Okay, and this is if you scroll on down that page, you're going to see that you have access to any jobs you've saved, schools and scholarship searches, and so on. Okay, if you click on the Help tab up there, you see that there is a facts section here. It has information on registering for this site, accessing completed tests, troubleshooting. If you're a visual person like I am, you might want to check out the video guides. There are videos on searching for resources, how to take a tutorial, and many other topics. So it helps you easily maneuver the site. And then you also see the Contact Us tab if you need customer support. In yellow up here, there is a keyword search box, and it does search the entire site if you want to search for something. Okay. And then finally here, over to the left, next to Home, you have Centers. And if you click on that, it's going to list all of those centers that are available. So let's go ahead and look at some of these in more depth. I am going to start again with the career centers. I'm going to go by the order that I have them listed here on this slide. And then we'll jump over to the education centers. So, career preparation. Okay, so up here you see they have learn more about a career. You've got job search and workplace skills, and then all of these different exams that you can prepare for. Air traffic controller, allied health and social work, civil service, commercial driver's license. I mean, they just have a large variety. Here at the bottom are the prepare for the work keys assessments and the TOEIC. Don't know how many people would be using that. It's ACT Work Keys is a skills assessment test for those who are interested in or are currently working for employers that place an emphasis on the National Career Readiness Certification. And the NCRC is a credential based on an individual's performance on 3 assessments: applied math, locating information, and reading for information. And it's supposed to measure skills that employers feel are important to succeed in the workplace. And then the test of English for international communication is an English language test designed specifically to measure the everyday English skills of people working in an international environment. It's a pretty old test. It's been around since the 70s. Let's start up here, though, with learn more about a career. So we have a number of those different careers that you can research. And most of the options in this section are eBooks. They are specifically created so you can just read more about these careers and learn how to prepare for them. So someone who's just at the beginning of their considering what types of jobs they want to do, this is a great resource for them. So let's look at become a nurse. So you see there's the ebook, and it kind of describes a little bit about what you'll find in that ebook. And they have 2 options. You have one just for, I guess, English speakers, and then there is one that specifies communication with Spanish-speaking patients, Spanish-English terms. So to view the ebook, you just click on that button, and it's going to open that book up in your browser. So you see up here you have several different options with this. You can take notes on that notepad as you go along. They have several options here for printing. You can highlight, let's see, and then also save it to finish later. So it's really kind of a cool thing, and it's going to, if you finish and save later, you'll be able to go to your My Center and just, you know, get back into it later. So here is the page that it'll come to immediately after you save it, and like I said, you'll be able to find it in your My Center. This just shows all of the different books that you may read, and you do have a link over here where you can click on View All Notes to view any of the notes that you took about what you read in those books. Okay, now in the next section we have resources for brushing up on your job search and workplace skills. Again, most of these include ebooks on the subject. There are some that have tutorials. One of those is Conduct a Successful Job Search. So let's take a look at that. So you see we have the ebook in this section, but there's also that tutorial, and there is a navigation tool I just want to point out to you here up at the top. That lets you move easily between other sections in the Improve Your Job Search area. And we have here the tutorial, so you just click on that. And that'll take you to the tutorial. We'll look at a tutorial in a little bit further on through the webinar. Okay, so looking on through here, they also have practice tests and books to prepare you to take entrance tests. So let's say that you wanted to take the social worker exam for certification in that field. You'll just click on that link. Prepare for social worker certification. That is the ASWB practice exam. That stands for Association of Social Work Boards, and ASWB develops and maintains social work licensing exams that are used to test a social worker's competence to practice ethically and safely. So they do have these practice tests here that you can take for that. And let's just take a look at one of those tests. So here is the test. You have all these instructions over here. It tells you all about the test. It is composed of 170 multiple choice questions and covers all the areas tested on the official exam. When you complete this practice test, you'll get a diagnostic score report that displays your overall score as well as your performance in the individual subtopics assessed on the official test. And like the official test, this practice test lasts 4 hours. So you have over here 3 modes that you can test in. You can use simulation, which allows you to take the test under the timed conditions that you would be doing it with the real test, if that test is timed. The practice option here allows you to see answer explanations once you're finished, and it keeps track of the time, but it won't stop the test when your time is up. And then we have learner mode, which allows you to view answers to each question as you go along so you can study. Okay, on to Job and Career Accelerator. So this center really allows you to do everything from A to Z in your job search. You can explore over 1,000 different occupations. You can take interest inventory and skills matcher tests. You can search local and national job and internship postings, create professional resumes and cover letters, learn how to ace the job interview, and organize and track your job search progress. So let's take a look at that resume builder. It's a really neat feature. One thing I do want to point out here, they have a message up there at the top. LearningExpress is updating their resume builder with AI features. So if you'd like to learn more about that, you can check out the highlights. And they have a little video here that's going to explain how AI is going to power their resume builder. Okay, one other thing that I want to show you is the full career dashboard. So they do have an option here. You have your saved job dashboard, and you can go to your full career dashboard just by clicking on that link there. And on the full career dashboard, that serves as your central hub for managing your career exploration and job search. As your career planning progresses, the dashboard updates, so you always have a snapshot of your resumes, cover letters, interest and skills tests, and saved occupations and job searches. Okay, so the resume section. Once you open that up, we have options for building your resume and cover letter and tutorials on what makes a great resume and cover letter along with samples of great resumes and cover letters. So if we click on Build Your Resume, that is going to take you to their resume builder page. Now here down at the bottom we have these resume writing tips. Create multiple versions of your resume and adapt your experience for each position as you apply. Be brief, stay focused, etc. Some pretty good tips. And then here under the green rectangle, at the top of the tool, there are links to access the cover letter builder and look at any other saved resumes that you may have. And then where we have the purple rectangle, this is where you start your resume. And you can click on either I want to create a new resume or I want to upload and edit an existing resume. And then I want to mention over here these links that they have on the far left side. These are links to videos. If you have questions about how to use the resume builder, you can find information here, and they're usually videos that you can watch. And many of these tools that they have these informational links to take you to a video that will give you more information about how to use their tool. And here's one of the videos. This is the video for using the resume builder. Okay, the resume builder itself. So I chose create a new resume, and when you do that, it opens a section asking you to set up a resume profile. Just enter some basic information and you can name your resume. So if you have more than one, because you may be applying for more than one job in different industries, you can give them names. The describe your resume is not a required field, but you can give a little more information about that particular job perhaps, or particular industry that you are applying to. And then you're asked to select a job category, and examples are business, education and training, government, health science, and so on. And under select job experience, you can choose high school GED, currently in college, technical program, recent graduate, entry-level job seeker, 1 to 2 years, mid-level, which is 3 to 7, and experienced, which is 8+. Or you can search research and academic job seeker. Select that. And you see too, there are some options for describing your work situation, such as having a 6-month gap. Maybe you did a gap, or even more, maybe a gap year. Or if you're transitioning military or a career changer. So you can put that in, and it's going to help gear a resume to those particular conditions. So once you filled out that initial form, just click on Start Building My Resume. And you notice up here at the top, there are these tabs. They are allow you to build or edit your resume. Then you can browse sample resumes. They have a keyword list here that contains over 700 action words to make for a more effective dynamic resume. And there are also thousands of job-specific words to get your resume noticed, especially if the potential employer uses those automatic scanners to search for certain keywords in a resume. And then you can preview your resume as well. Okay, and then down here you see they have the standard sections on professional resumes. If a section doesn't apply, you can just leave it blank and it's not going to show on the final document. And you can also move these sections around if you'd rather highlight education over experience, for example. Just go to the Resume Preview tab and grab, drag, and drop the section where you want it. And then you can hit Edit at any time to edit a section. Now, to access your cover letters, resumes, and other work you may do in the Job and Career Accelerator, you can go back to that career dashboard we looked at earlier. And here you have options for editing, copying, printing, downloading, emailing, or deleting your resumes, the various resumes you've created. You also have your cover letters, any saved job searches that you've done, any jobs that you have saved that you're interested in applying to, saved occupations, if you've been doing occupation search, and then they have the recommended resources. Okay, so let's move on to search for jobs and internships. And you just click on that blue link to open it up. And you see here, we have a federal job search. There's a job search tutorial, a tutorial on finding your next job. We have internship and job search databases. They do use monster.com. It is integrated into their job search. And then you have those for USA. Internship search and job search are separate. And you have internship and job searches for Canada as well. They cover all of North America. So let's look at the USA job search. Okay, you can see here the simple search, and there's a place to save searches. That shows you your saved job searches. And then you can also do an advanced search, which I do recommend if you know a specific job title you want to search for. Otherwise, you're going to get thousands of results, and some of them are seemingly unrelated. So this is the advanced search form. Again, up here there's a link that shows you, it takes you to a video on doing your job and internship search. You can search by keyword. You can search by industry, jobs using certain skills. You can search by job title, a company name, by location, and you can filter by recency of the job posting and job type, and then you can also decide how many results you want to see per page. And then up here there's a link to helpful hints for searching, different from the video. So let's say I am looking for truck driver jobs in Kentucky. This simple search returned about 2,235 results currently. And looking at the first result, I can either save this job listing, or if I want to apply to it, I can just click right on that apply button. That is going to take you out to the monster.com site, and you can apply from there. Now when you click on save, it's going to open this screen. It's got two-step directions for saving this job, and it's going to automatically populate the form with the job title, company, job description, and URL. And you can then add the contact name at the company, an email address for the person at the company that you want to send your resume to in your cover letter. You can link your resume and cover letter for applying later on into that. And then in step 2 of create and save a new job, they ask you to save your job to an occupation card so that you can group jobs of the same type together. If you or someone you're working with are looking for a variety of different jobs, let's say, in different fields, if there isn't a card in their system that fits the job you're saving, then you can create your own card. And this is a great way to organize the job search, because when you pull up the occupation card, you have all the jobs you've saved right there, and it allows you to track and manage all the application steps you've taken for each job you've saved. Well, let's take a look at some of those occupation cards. If we go to Explore Occupations and then Explore Career Clusters, you just click on that Launch Career tool. And that's going to bring up a number of different career clusters that you can choose from. And we're going to click on Transportation, Distribution, and Logistics. And then Light Truck Drivers. You see, they do have several different categories: heavy and tractor trailer truck drivers, industrial truck and tractor operators, and then the light truck drivers. And this is the occupation card for light truck drivers. And the occupation cards have information on various occupations and occupation groups that are taken from the ONET Career Database, which is an occupational database published by the U.S. Department of Labor. And they have a wealth of facts and figures about specific career paths. This is information that would take hours to find online. And you can switch the language on the cards from English to Spanish by clicking on that button up there at the top. And then if you scroll on down, the rest of the information on that job card, it shows you wages and trends, the knowledge, skills, and abilities that you need for that particular job, tasks and activities that are involved, any tools and technology that you use in the course of performing the job, education and training needed to get a job in that field, web resources, just all kinds of different things. And you can even view available jobs and save jobs. So they're really pretty neat. There's also a video up here that will kind of go over the different things about that particular job that people might be interested in, like how to prepare for a job in that field. And then, of course, all that information is down here as well. So it's great for people who are also just looking, kind of trying to decide what kind of jobs they want to do. And then another great resource in LearningExpress in that Job and Career Accelerator is the Prepare for an Interview section. So here they have this learning module at the top. It has 7 micro lessons, and then at the end of that there's an assessment. It's a comprehensive self-paced asset designed to help job seekers prepare for interviews, reduce anxiety, and improve their performance to secure employment. And it also features several helpful eBooks on topics like networking, how to write interview thank yous, and follow-up letters with samples. And there's a job offer and salary negotiation tutorial. So just about everything you need to prepare for an interview. Great learning tool. This is the interview module, and those 7 micro lessons that I mentioned. You see there they have the STAR method, answering tough questions with clarity, asking questions that impress, building confidence, just all really good lessons. And then interviewing with confidence quiz. And then one last thing I want to look at here before we move on is the Discover Schools and Scholarships. So important if you have someone at home, for example, a teen who is getting ready to go to college and wants to look at programs and search different schools for programs they'd be interested in, or if you're going to graduate school, also can give you information on programs in graduate schools. You see the scholarship finder over here, powered by FastWeb, and it searches more than 1.5 million college and trade school scholarships with over $3.4 billion, worth over $3.4 billion. Okay. Now on to the Computer Skills Center. Okay, this center is just what it says. It has teaching modules for people who need basic computer skills instruction to those wanting to learn more about software tools like Microsoft Word or Excel. And you can see there are also sections about the internet, improving typing skills, artificial intelligence, and understanding operating systems. So let's take a look at the popular software tools section. So you see they have various tools, all Microsoft. We have Microsoft Office 365, Microsoft OneDrive, which is very helpful for state employees. There's Outlook, PowerPoint, Excel. They still have Microsoft Access. It's not been updated since 2013, and Microsoft no longer supports it. But for people who still use Access out there, there is a tutorial there for that. So let's look at the Excel 2021. There is a video for that particular software. And you see there you have a table of contents at the top, and then it shows you the different sections of the video. And you can actually just jump through those sections if there's a particular point that you need and you're not interested in watching the entire video, then you can skip on through. Also, each video tutorial comes with a transcript. And you see here to access the transcript, you just go right up here to that particular icon, and it's going to bring it up down here. You also have these tools to the right for volume, if you need captioning. The settings will bring this up so you can also do captioning in other languages. And then you have the picture-in-picture icon that will actually put the video down here in the corner of your screen so that you can actually work in Excel and watch the video at the same time. And then when you're in the transcript, you also have this menu, and that allows you to either download the transcript or print it. This particular icon is another picture-in-picture. It's going to enlarge that transcript and put it up in the left-hand corner of your screen. And that makes it a little bit easier. You see it's much larger and easier to read. And you also have this menu for downloading or printing. Okay, and the Center for Spanish Speakers, Resources for Spanish Speakers. This is a great page. It's all in Spanish, and it gives you information on preparing for the GED. You can also improve basic skills in English speaking, writing, or reading. That's up here. You can also learn how to become a U.S. citizen, earn a green card. Again, the whole thing is written in Spanish, so it's very helpful if you are working with Spanish-speaking clients. It's a great resource to point out that can be useful. Does anybody have any questions on the Career Centers? I'm getting close to the end here, so I'm going to speed up a little bit. Okay. So, on to the Education Centers. We'll start with Adult Core. Okay, so the Adult Core Skills Center allows you to practice math, become a better reader, improve writing, speaking, and grammar. And they also have 100 civics questions for attaining U.S. citizenship in their practice test. Again, you have the navigation tool up here, and you can see all the different things that you can work on: graphs, data, geometry, percents, basic algebra. And then there's also the Learn More Guidance tab, and that's going to take you to a page that guides you through steps to use the site to improve your skills. You'll find this on each page throughout the website. Okay, so what can be found on the Learn More Guidance page for basic algebra? It goes through, you can do a tutorial. It kind of gives you steps for improving your skills. Just wanted to show you that. And then under improving your writing, speaking, and grammar, they have tutorials. And writing skills in the workplace could be particularly helpful if you have an employee who needs to, if you supervise someone who needs to improve their writing skills. This is a great tutorial. And when we click on that, you're going to come up to this page, and this particular course helps you build skills in various types of business writing like letters, memos, email, and so on. You see the menu to the left over here. And one nice thing about LearningExpress is that you can move through each unit at your own pace. So when you finish the lesson, or if you're in the middle of a lesson, you can save it and finish it later by clicking on that Finish Later button that we talked about earlier. Again, they have that notepad feature. And then at the end of each unit, you have a course summary. And once you finish all the units, there's a total course summary and post-test that you can take. Okay, the school centers are 4 to 8 educator resources and high school students. And it used to be one center. They have separated them out into 2 separate centers recently. Okay, so the elementary school center has basically your math and language arts skills and lessons and practice for elementary school students. Then when you go on to the middle school, we have added social studies. And you also have a high school entrance exam. I don't know, that maybe that's more for private high schools. I'm not sure that there are any public high schools that require an entrance exam in Kentucky, but maybe they do. I'm wrong. It's been a while. My son's been out of high school for a while. Okay, so both of these school centers have a statement up here about Common Core. And Common Core state standards is a set of consistent high-quality academic goals in English, language arts, and math for grades K to 12. They were developed to ensure college and career readiness and define the skills students need to succeed, ensuring consistency across different states. So when you click on that statement, it's going to take you to a page that discusses those details about Common Core. And then at the bottom, you have a link that will actually take you to the Common Core website, and you can actually see those different standards for English, math, and other areas of study. Okay, and just to kind of give you an idea of what's available, they make it really interactive for the high school students. You see this center includes lessons, practice tests, videos, games, flashcards. It's really great. They have math, English, language arts, science, social studies, technology, and logic and reasoning skills improvement for high school students. So let's look at the biology section. I just want to show you those flashcards. They're pretty cool. So we just click on Open Flashcards. And here you can choose your difficulty, sort them by difficulty. You have various display options that you can choose. And then once you click on this icon here, it will flip that card over. So here we have our particular trophic level, our concept that we're looking at, and it's going to flip it over and give you the answer. And you could see there are 50 in the deck here, and if we click on this, it's going to just take you on to the next card. So pretty cool. Okay, the GED Test Prep Center. So the Are You Ready section is nice because if you have someone you're working with who needs to get their GED, there is an initial test that person can take to assess their skill level. And these skills check tests are based on the TABE, that's the Test of Adult Basic Education, and include detailed answer explanations and a score report. So with this information, the person can go on to build basic skills if more work is needed, or they can practice. They can actually take practice tests if they're close to being ready to take the test. And all this is included in the GED and Espanol for Spanish speakers as well. Okay, so if we go to the introduction to the exam, they have a statement up there about how this particular tutorial is aligned with the GED testing service and officially certified by the GED testing service. So that is good to know. So again, here you're just going to click on that tutorial. You see it tells you about what the GED is. If you click on Start Tutorial, they have these different lessons about what to expect, getting comfortable with the test, responding to different types of questions, and so on. So that's great if you're working with anybody who needs to get their GED. Okay, and then the College Admissions Test Prep Center has a number of great resources to help your either client or team prepare for any number of entrance exams. We have the ACT, the SAT, advanced placement tests, even tackle that essay, the college admission essay, and how to write a great essay. Okay, and if you want to look at the ACT practice tests, they also have eBooks that are helpful. They provide no less than 6 practice tests for you to take. And that's just for English, the English section. So you know the more you practice, the more familiar you become with the tests, the less nerve-inducing they are, which is going to lead to better scores. So great place to practice. Okay, and then finally, this is our last center, the College Center. So we have GRE preparation. That's one of the main tests that people take for graduate school. And you see here you can strengthen your math, reading, grammar, and writing and science skills. You've got also AccuPlacer. Oh, they don't have that anymore, sorry. Okay. Let's take a look at the GRE. We have all these GRE practice tests. You have up to 4 tests. And again, it's just like with the others. You have a test time of 118 minutes. There are 55 questions. And you can use your test mode, simulation, practice, or learner. And it tells you about the analytical writing, qualitative reasoning, quantitative reasoning, verbal reasoning 1 and 2, and it describes the analytic writing section. That is one part of the GRE, is that you have to write a response to a statement. So how to take this test, how you answer questions, changing your answer, navigating through the questions, and so on. And there's the analytical writing section. They do have it, you can do it timed, and it shows you how much time is remaining. Here's the statement: government funding should end for space exploration because money is needed to solve problems on Earth. And so you would write a response in which you discuss the extent to which you agree or disagree with that claim. In developing and supporting your position, you are to address the most compelling reasons and give examples that could be used to challenge your position. So you write all that there. And then at the end, you have a scoring guide. You do score yourself, so I think really it would be best if you know, you take that to someone you know who can give you a more objective scoring. Okay, we are at the end. Does anybody have any questions? You guys have been a quiet group. Anything at all? I love LearningExpress. I think it's one of the really interesting databases to get into, particularly if you're working with somebody. I think it's really great to point out this resource. So, okay. One thing I need to point out, We want to thank the Institute of Museum and Library Services for sponsorship of this webinar. We are very grateful for their funding and assistance. And just a reminder, this webinar has been recorded. It is going to be available within 10 days. And a link to a short survey will be sent out. Your responses are very important to us for our continued federal funding. So if you're watching this as a recording in our archived webinars, that survey is also available to you. And a certificate of attendance will be emailed to you within 10 days as well. So please contact us by email, phone, our online Ask a Librarian form, or just come by and visit us. We are at 300 Coffee Tree Road, next to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Frankfurt. Okay, thank you so much for attending, and hope you have a great weekend. We're coming up on the weekend soon. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to hang around for a little bit and put that link to the survey in the chat. Thanks again.